So glad that Irene was able to come here and tell about her unique and innovative program for teaching children to read. And here she is.
Thank you. Okay, so welcome. I'm Irene Daria, and I'm a developmental psychologist and specialize in teaching children how to read. I'm also the author of Steps to Reading, a workbook for kids and a guidebook for parents and teachers that provides step-by-step instructions for how to teach children to read. I'm sure all of you know that the first step is learning your letter sounds. What you may not realize, it's important for you to come right out and explain to the child that the letters of the alphabet stands for sounds that we make when we speak. Often adults will say something like this to a child. This is the letter A. A says A. And some kids accept this and they're fine with it. And other kids are like, what? That letter doesn't make any sound. That's something written on a piece of paper. What are you talking about? And that confusion will actually hinder their ability to learn. Kids often, you may have seen, don't come right out and ask you questions. They sometimes just tune out. And that sometimes happens in preschools when preschools are teaching the letter sound. So come right out and explain to the child. Letters stand for sounds that we make when we speak. For example, this letter A stands for the sound A. Okay. A few other tips on teaching the sounds that letters make. Teach capital and lowercase letters at the same time. Sometimes kids are taught just the uppercase letters, but reading consists mostly of lowercase letters. So teach them at the same time. And don't teach your child A says A as in apple, or T says T as in train, because I've had kids come to me and, for example, if I show them the word cat and ask them to read it, they will actually say K, cat, A, apple, T, train. They memorize it as a whole unit. So just say, C says K, A says A, T says T, as opposed to attaching the word to it. If your kids are just learning their letter sounds, these are great. I don't have anything to do with these DVDs, but when people come to me for tutoring, I tell them, go buy them. It'll save you the cost of months of tutoring, and then come back when your child knows their letter sounds. They're both from a company called Leapfrog. This first one is called Letter Factory Video, and both of them are actually movies. They're not interactive games, they're movies. This first one, the plot is that baby letters are in a factory. They've just been born, and they're learning the sounds that they make. So you have baby A's in a room, and a ghost comes in and scares them, and they all go, ah! And that's the sound that A makes. So effective. Kids love it, and they really, really, really learn from it. The second video, also from Leapfrog, it's called Talking Words Factory, and this introduces the idea that letters form words. But the really important one for learning letters is the first one. Okay, so once children know their letter sounds, they will be able to start learning how to read. So we start with words that have short A in them. Those are words like bat, can, or rag. I'm going to use the term short vowel with you because I think that you all know what it means. Don't use that term with your children. They often find short and long very confusing. And just when the words that they're learning to read at this point all have the short vowels in them. So at this point, you just have to tell them A says A, I says I, etc. You want to make sure the sound of short A is rock solid for the child as you go forward. And I'm going to show you that website that we were discussing before. This is a great website. It's free, which is amazing. It's called starfall.com. Okay, so this is actually also great for learning letter sounds in general. But here, I always use it for the A sound. So I won't play this whole thing, but you'll get an idea of how cute this is.
A.
So it introduces the letter A.
A.
And then the child has to click wherever the stars sparkle, and you'll hear the A sound.
Ah.
You like it? Come here, hey, come here. Help me out. You too, come here. Come on. Apple. So here, click. Go ahead, click on here. Just put your finger and press.
Ah. Apple. Apple.
Good. Okay, your turn. Press here.
Ah. Apples.
Want to press again? Come on. We take turns. I love having assistants. Oh, where'd it go? Hold on, I think it moved. Okay.
Ah.
Apples. Oh, now watch this. Okay, come on, your turn. Go ahead. Quick. Now watch the alligator.
Alligator. Ah.
Pretty cute, huh? Okay, your turn. We're not going to do the whole thing, but... Okay, go ahead.
Ah.
Okay, now this is my absolute favorite. Go ahead, click, you press. Oops, hold on. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Here, go ahead.
Ah. Astronaut.
Watch this, you guys. Kids really love it. Okay, so I'm going to fast forward through this a little bit. Thank you for your help.
Click and drag the letters to the correct basket.
Each of the letters
Capital
ends with a game that they can play.
Lowercase. A.
So this one, they have to drag the capital letters to the right basket. So,
Ah.
and it uses all their senses, as you can see. They're touching, they're hearing. They love it. So, I highly recommend it.
Goodbye.
So again, it's great for all letter sounds. I use it especially for the vowels. And then, so each of these has its own little, I don't know what to call it, movie with a game at the end that applies to the letter. And down here are songs about each of the vowels. So here's a song about A. Tell me what you think about this, okay? Here, press. Go ahead.
Ah. Listen to the short A sound. Ah, 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 ah. The ah in cat, the ah in a rat. Make the short A sound. Ah, 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 ah.
You will find yourself
Now I
walking
want to
around
hear
singing
you
the
sing it.
songs. My kids were like, "Ma."
Listen to the short A sound.
But
Ah,
again,
ah,
also
ah,
very
ah,
effective.
ah. The ah in cat, the ah in a rat. Make the short A sound.